She's such a misfit, always ready to brawl. It's like her business, roughing up your friends is the law. There is no difference if you believe you're strong. She's a bulldozer, making sure you're flat on the ground. She's like a boomerang that never gives up. She flies in circles till she hits you and you're bowed in the dust. So just remember this, when she's chasing you down, face first you'll be thrown into the proving ground. She'll knock you out. Have you ever really wanted to be a total rebel, flipping tables on the enemy? Did you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now it's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes mine. As a matter of fact, the best bet one has is to quickly react to the first attack and sing for the boots. She'll never pull back, just listen. Have you ever really wanted to be a total rebel, flipping tables on the enemy? Did you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now it's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes clean, clean, gold jeans. Someone's out to find you. Clean, clean, all the jeans. The warden's right behind you. Quick now, the seeking jeans. Approach with their shoes gray. Don't stop, flee the jeans. Your last chance to escape. Drag the jeans, with all the strength you may. Drag the jeans, ere they drag you away. Clean, clean, pull the jeans, no more time for fear. Clean, clean, know the jeans, the last sound that you'll hear. Wanna join me? Come and play, but I might shoot you in your face. Bombs and bullets will do the trick. What we need here is a little bit of panic. You ever wanna catch me? Right now I'm feeling ignored.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to NECC Week 8. My name is Power of the Storm, joined by Happy Dance Live. And today, well, we are in the second to last week of the regular season, and we have a match between Louisville Red and University of Wisconsin Platteville A. A bit of a mouthful there, but hopefully this match, it's shaping up to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, they've both got a record of 2-5 right now, which is, it's maybe not the best of the best records, but we have to say that no matter what, they are in this league and they are deserving of their spot here. These guys, they're going to give us a show that is really worthwhile, in my opinion. So,
And one thing that is worth pointing out about these teams that both of them do have forfeit wins. Matter of fact, Louisville has two forfeit losses, while West Platteville did end up beating BGSU in a 2-0 just a few weeks back. So at the very least, we've seen more of Platteville actually play than we have of Louisville. And well, at least for the moment, they are at 7th and 9th place respectively, both of them trying to see what they can do to maybe just get a little bit higher up in these standings. A win here for both these teams would certainly shoot up both of them, and they aren't out yet, but obviously every win counts, especially when we're getting into these final weeks.
yeah, especially a win here just for even one of them would be able to shoot them forward in the standings here by at least a place, especially in the case of UW. They'd probably shoot up to at least 7th, taking Louisville's place at number 7, and they'd be able to compete against WSC, being able to move on and make it to the top 5 potentially in the future. So this is kind of a make or break moment for both of these teams here, because if they don't make the change now that they need to see, then it might be time to count them out for the tournament. Join Barton Eastwoods on the bench.
Certainly. So this match is going to be do or die for both these teams. We're going to be seeing Louisville Red for the first time, since this isn't a forfeit game for them. And we can go ahead and take a look at these players here. We have Heartless, we have Synthetic, J Razor, Gangsta, and Under Average. All of these players looking to see what they can do to really put it on the board. We have quite a large variety of different types of graduates as well. Majors coming on here. We do have some engineers, 2 chemical engineering ones. Other than that, we are seeing a pretty healthy range of players for both of graduates for both these teams.
Yeah, and if we see here, we got Under Average on this in the psychology major. Maybe he's gonna be able to give us some insight, some analysis. He's gonna be playing the mental game the whole time against UW and trying to get in their heads.
It certainly is a possibility.
That would be great to see. And then, this kind of roster is just, they seem to have played together for a while. They have the communication. You've got like one freshman who's maybe adjusting, so that always may throw maybe a little wrench into the team. But as someone who's coming into the scene more new, that brings a lot more new talent and can add a lot of life to the team. Let's move on to UW Platteville, though.
Heading over to Platteville, we do see here a lot of engineering, and that's going to be because of the fact that Platteville is one of the highest rated engineering colleges in the country. And here, as you can see, we do have Lockdown, Frosty, Bubba, Robo, and Murray all coming in here to play. These players pretty young, sophomores and freshmen, haven't been in here as long as some of the other players on Louisville, but we have seen a little bit more of them. They did have that 2-0 win, so at the very least we know that they can put up some numbers, but they did lose quite a few already going into this, so it'll be unknown if they are able to bring it here against Louisville.
Yeah, and like I was mentioning on Louisville, the freshman always is new blood coming in and changing up the game. These guys have 2 freshmen and 3 sophomores. It's a really young team, and we're going to get to see here if that's an advantage or a disadvantage, because these guys may not have had as much time playing together. But it's all in the chemistry at the end of the day. Let's move on to map vetoes now, as we have the bands. Oh, wow. So we'll be going to probably the basics of Siege, which is Clubhouse, Villa, and Oregon. This is something we see almost every day. So let's talk a little bit about what we're expecting to see with a Louisville pick for Clubhouse.
Well, as you mentioned, Clubhouse going to be the first map Platteville starting out, and well, it is certainly a map that a lot of teams have played. It is this typical Scrib map, so we probably aren't going to be seeing anything too crazy coming out here. Maybe some new strategy with the new operator Brava coming out onto the board. She can shake up things occasionally, but I pretty much think we're just going to see a standard take and a standard kind of defensive setup coming out from both these teams as they play a map that they're very familiar with.
Okay, let's have our predictions real quick for Clubhouse. I wanted to make a little bet with you. Bans. What do you think the bans are?
That's a good question. You know, like I said, you get some pretty standard bans coming in here, and speaking of which, we're going to be getting into them right now. But I think my bet for the first ban probably going to be Habana. She is a very powerful operator. That or Thatcher. I see both of those getting banned out, honestly.
I honestly agree with the Habana ban, but also I want to say the second one might be Thatcher. You know, your second one was you know what I would love to see just to really throw things into chaos?
What?
A sledge ban. A sledge ban. I've seen it done before. Mirage did it a long time ago, and it really like threw the whole map into chaos and was able to win the match for them. A Maverick ban, however, coming out is just as good in my opinion. That's really strong, and Louisville sacrificing that on attack in the first half is maybe a questionable decision, but you got to think they have a plan for it, right?
This is the map that Maverick does get the most use out of. He's falling out of favor recently, but he can still prove very powerful. And maybe this is a bit of a read from Louisville, and they go ahead and ban the second operator, that being Mira. Very, very powerful operator. I'm not surprised to see her at all. I also won't be surprised if we do see a Valkyrie coming up here, because those operators together, the intel they provide, the setup, and the sites they provide is almost unrivaled when it comes to the defender's setup in all of the sites on this map.
Yeah, a Valkyrie or a Pulse ban is probably... there's the Valkyrie, just like you say, which means we are going to be seeing some Pulse there on our basement defense from Platteville. Ace coming out first from under average with the whole... Yeah, Finka as well. We're going to basement and church. Church and Arsenal first is an interesting choice. I'm not sure how often we see that.
It wasn't a thing for the longest time, but as time has gone on, we have started to see, you know, a lot of teams going down to the basement site first, as we did see a lot of the top floor getting figured out relatively quickly, and not a lot of teams still prefer to head over to bedroom and gym. And, well, with that adaptation just comes them heading down to basement more often. And I mentioned that we might be seeing her, and we are indeed. Brava being bought out by Jay Razor. And, well, unfortunately for Platteville, they don't really have anything that they can really do to get rid of it, aside from, of course, just shooting it with their guns. But there's no mute jammers, no Mozzie on the board to really stop this Brava from coming in. So, and also Wub Wubs coming out from the Malusi and Kaid Claws and Jaeger ADSs. This could potentially prove devastating if the Brava is able to get in and cause some damage.
Yeah, the Brava, this is actually the first time I've ever casted a game where Brava was in play, so I'm excited to get into this. And as we're going to be opening up here, it looks like it's going to be a... Let's just get a view of the attackers, and maybe a lurk here from Malusi upstairs, but it's going to be a east over take here, possibly an emphasis on the boiler area, and maybe we could be looking at a kitchen execute if we're really going to work for it. Habana's going to have to go for those hatches as soon as possible. Really make a lot of use this time, especially in the first 30 seconds.
We did see an ace getting shown off a little bit, but they did end up swapping over to Habana because they knew they were going to be playing those hatches. Habana is, of course, the queen of hatches, and in particular, with the impact tricks coming out on that kitchen hatch, having Habana just throw a few pallets down and potentially waste an impact charge that would be used to take out 4. You can only take out 2, can prove invaluable, but also it's being used to take out these over here, like in the stock hatch, like taking out that hatch over in bar. You can do a lot more things with that and then use your final charges to try to get that hatch open. But at least for the moment, they're not going to be really focusing too much on it. Like we said, just trying to get those other hatches open so they have other areas of attack when it goes later into the round.
I love the IQ pick, by the way. This wasn't even a change, by the way. This was something they stuck with from the very beginning. They knew that Pulse was going to be there, and this is the counter that they brought. I love the choice. I love the thoughtfulness that they're giving and the respect that they're giving to this team in doing their research and making the counter strikes that they need to. They're down to about halfway through the round now as the Buck is really tearing up the floors and hatches are getting opened. We're preparing for a site execute here as the entire team has actually moved down to begin to bunker in the site. We don't have much in terms of lurkers of any kind.
They did waste quite a bit of time, 1:10 left on the clock. Not a whole lot of time for Louisville to work with, but they do have a lot of space already. And now we're going to be seeing late into the round those Bravo drones coming out. Here now, they're going to try to see while they're distracted with that vertical play happening from the sledge, while they're not really paying attention, they're going to try to make sure they can take as many of these guys as possible. We see the Web getting taken, that's not going to get a lot of value. Intel being gained as well, smoke canisters coming out to try and stall the push coming down blue, and that could potentially prove disastrous, especially now that I have Fink on the board. The extra damage that you take could be extremely dangerous, and now we start seeing them happening going underway. Average getting the first kill of the game, getting a kill onto lockdown. More flashes coming through, 30 seconds left, things are about to get tasty.
Yeah, and immediately Average is going to take another one off the board. He's going to get Frosty off the board, but Bubba with a nice swing is going to be able to come off the boiler and find a nice kill. Get that second as well as Under Average is just caught lacking in the middle of the site. Murphy's going to trade back, but it's instantly taken out. And there's the Habana lurking down dirt now. He's going to come down, and there's 7 seconds left on the clock. He's going to have to go for the plant or find the kill as quickly as possible. Without the diffuser, he's going to have to find it. He's stuck in Moto, and he can't get there in time. That's going to be round one going to Platteville.
That looked a lot closer than it was. A lot of kills flying out in favor of the defenders as that got later on into the round. It didn't look like there was really anything they could do to try and prevent that push from coming in. They had the hatches open, they had the pathways to push through, but they were stuck taking one-on-one engagements, and it kind of fell through, especially because it looked like they didn't have the most amount of intel in the world as to where all of the players on the side of Platteville were. And while some good gunplay coming out towards the end there was able to kind of swing it back and get it just ever so closely, at that point the timer was no longer their friend, and Platteville managed to secure that round in their favor, and now they opt to head over to Gym Bedroom for their second round sight.
Defenders, protect your
Yeah,
bombs
and
from
really
being
in that
used by
round, I really
attackers.
think the big problem there was that they didn't get kills. It was left down to a 5v5 in under the last minute. I mean, that's something that as a attacker you just can't allow to happen. There has to be some kind of turnover on that
Attackers have
room
discovered the
floor.
location of a bomb.
Murray, please. Murray. Okay. Alright, he's okay. He's fine. We've saved the day. But anyways, as I was saying, you need to have a turnover as the attackers. You need to find the picks on those lurks. And then you
10
need to be able to
seconds left
box
before
down
insertion.
and keep these guys stuck in place.
5
So they
seconds
have
to
no
insertion.
choice but to take disadvantageous gunfights. And they were just swinging right into the defenses.
The bomb.
Platteville was ready for them in every regard. I do like this defense though. This extension into cash is exquisite.
And one thing we have been seeing a bit more recently is Cash getting played overheading to, or excuse me, not Cash. We've been seeing Bedroom and Gym being played over Cash TTPV with that extension into Cash to give them a little bit more room to play with and maybe waste a little bit more utility, maybe a bit more hard breach charges from like a Thermite, for example, rather than having to worry about, just taking from one side. And right now, as we see, we are going to be having two snipers on the board. Callie and Glass being brought out here to try to get this wall open, and at least for the moment, they are having a little bit of trouble just because of the fact that gadget is going to be down inside of the bathroom, just kind of preventing them from really getting that wall open, at least for the moment. Stalling out already a minute here, and unfortunately, Callie's gun not the greatest for in the long run. Not being able to use it to take out that gadget could potentially be very devastating later on. They do have that secondary machine pistol, so it could even out in the end.
I'm seeing a lot of issues here from Louisville, especially in this first minute, because they don't seem to have the direction they need, right? I mean, you have the obvious plan of bringing the Glass and bringing the Cali and using that to play a post plan, right? But the problem is that they did not expect, they were relying too heavily on that IQ to be able to take out the Cave Claws. And that's just not something you can rely 100% on every single time. because it takes a lot of control to be able to give the IQ that advantage, and the Cade Claws need to just be placed in just the right way that you can still get them. Now taking some control though of central stairs here and moving up to clear out the wall. He's going for the Cade Claw himself, all by himself, and it's still a 5v5 going into the last 1 minute. Power, this is going to turn out to look a lot the same.
Oh, that 5v5 turns into a 4v5, make that a 3v5 as 2 kills go flying out the board for the defenders. The plant starting to go down. Now no one really to stop from going down. I say that though, Lockdown does end up finding one, Murray getting the other. Now it's all down to the Cali outside, machine pistol in hand. However, there are those castle brackets in the way. They get one open. It almost looks like Bubba's going to swing out, and they do, and they get out there, but they just get shot in the leg, and they end up going down. 1 kill on the board for the attackers in this round, but there's still 4 more to go. An ace, a clutch 1v5 ace, Synthetic would have to make in only 20 seconds left. Not a lot of time to do it. Some pings are going out to get them the positions. They are getting shot from the sides. They don't have enough time left, and Murray swings on through with the headshot with the TCSG and is able to finish off the final remaining player, and that's going to be another defender win on this map.
Yeah, the same thing happened that round. I'm sure you saw it, and I'm sure the audience saw it as well. That was a 5v5, once again, in the final minute of the round. That cannot be allowed to happen. There was so little control from the team. I mean, okay, admittedly, the entirety of the defense was stuck down in the bomb site. They only extended out to cache. They didn't take any space on any other floors. But that's all free space. What is the attack doing not taking that so early? At a minute into the round, Red Stairs was finally taken back. And I'm sorry, not Red. Main Stairs. But it was taken, and they were able to make progress then. But by then, it's a minute left on the clock. You have to rush the plant without having any control. Solus played downstairs and was able to drop down and play from there without ever being contested. It was just a poor execution and not enough roam clear.
Unfortunately, their whole strategy revolved in just pushing in through one wall, and it took them 2 minutes to get that wall open even. Just not a whole lot they could really do there without adjusting their strategy. That's something they definitely did not want to do. And, well, now they're going to have to try defending Cache CCTV. And as we mentioned, that map can, or the site, excuse me, can potentially be a little bit more difficult for the defenders to hold, especially in recent times. And while we are going to be seeing that Bravo come back out again, we are also seeing another operator with a drone. This time, Flora is going to be brought on the board. And the amount of explosive utility that can be brought could potentially prove devastating, especially because we do see at least one deployable shield, but also, so we are seeing sitting out on that balcony going to be the Azami, using those utility to just kind of cover up those holes and make it a little bit safer for her to hold that Raptors.
Yeah, and I like this kind of defensive setup that they have here, the garage play especially. It's a little bit risky because, of course, the wall there is soft next to him and could be droned out easily, and that's a pick if they really lock it down fast enough. But this could even be Platteville recognizing that Louisville doesn't do enough roam clear. They don't do enough droning, they're not doing their due diligence, and they want to take advantage of it. Because now, look at all this space that Platteville is taken. Oh no, though, he's going to give away the pick for free as Synthetic is able to take down Frosty. A little bit of overheating, though, is going to lose that one in the end. Jay Razor is able to follow up as well with the one on the lockdown. That's the Solus off the board. It's going to be a lot of denial loss in the end.
2 players already going down for Platteville is potentially devastating, especially because you cannot use that Solus drone later into the round when finding those drones that are maybe hiding on site or hiding in places where they can get to you, potentially devastating. But Murray is there to try to shorten things out and make things a little bit closer. 6 kills already for them, 6-0 at this point in time. Gangsta just jumps right in, absolutely gets slammed by Robo, but Heartless responds right back and gets Bubba down to a 2v3. It's going to be another player pushing in now from construction. The unfortunate timing, there's under average gets 1, but Murray, they're not going down without a fight. 7 kills to their name and 0 deaths so far. A minute left remaining, a 1v2. The potential is there. They could clutch this one out and take their team up 3-0.
Yeah, I'm really looking at Murphy here. He's making the plays, and he knows he has intel from his teammates. And right now, Louisville has their opportunity. They have their opportunity to make sure that this is not a flawless rotation. In goes one. A tag onto him. He's going for the plant. He's covered from the CCTV window. Nitro goes out. He's able to equalize. Down to a 1v1 now. The jump in. Coming in. It's a Jay Razor versus Murray. Murray has been on fire so far. He doesn't plan on changing that anytime soon. Gets off the plant. No, he does. No, he's able to swing. Jay Razor is able to shut it down. That's going to be the first round on the board for Louisville.
A valiant effort there from Murray, but unfortunately, in the end, it just was not meant to happen. Louisville barely managed to take that first round in a very, very intense 1v1. And, well, with that, the rotation of sites has been made, and now Platteville, they get to go back down to Church Arsenal, where once again, it was a 1v1. I believe Murray was the last one alive in that one as well, but that did end from the clock. And so the question now is, are Louisville going to be able to adjust and pick up what they were doing and continue to thrive? Or is that round from Louisville going to spiral into a potential lead?
Power, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is genius. We have to highlight this. Look at the lineup change that comes out from Platteville. They won this already. They didn't need to do that. But they know that that Louisville is super slow on their roam clear, and they're not very thorough on it. So they've changed from lockdown and Kapkan. That combination is brutal. It is devastating. When they're going to be coming down to the last minute executing, and they're going to run into Kapkan traps, they're going to have the problem with lockdown still being everywhere. And all the while, they can still make it appear like it's the same lineup through the Jaeger, the Cade, and the Malusi. I mean, that kind of combo, that kind of thoroughness is exactly what wins games, and I'm excited to see how it plays out.
We are going to see Louisville swapping off of that Brava. Not the most amount of value gotten by that Brava in the past few rounds. We did see them hack a few of those like wub-wubs in that first round, and they got a little bit of value. Didn't have to get shot, didn't really give away the positioning, but didn't matter all too much. And so instead they're going to opt to go with a Lion, maybe to help clear out that roam, as they do most likely know that there is an Oryx on the board for lockdown, and they are going to be off-site, potentially making things a little bit dangerous. But also for doing a late round push, just kind of rushing in at the last second, which is what we've so far seen Louisville tend to do. Having a Lion on the board just kind of makes sure that the rest of the defenders can't really move as... Although I was going to say it's really good, but then Lockdown ends up killing Jay Razor off the rip, so no Lion for late scans or to clear the room.
Now Frosty is off the board as well, but he's still got those Kapkan traps down to help him out, and let's be honest, Jay Razor going down early is devastating for the side of Louisville. That's pretty much all the roam clear, and they have to worry about Lockdown so much more now, because Lockdown is able to go for a flank and really come up behind them without any pressure. Now finally, we see they're getting control of top floor, moving their way down and opening up some of the floors in order to move on, but average. That is not good.
We do see down below the Jaeger downing under average. Unfortunately for the Jaeger, they were not able to secure the kill as the Finca was there to boost them up. That long-range revive is very, very useful, but now they need to be more careful as they are very low on HP. 4v4 now, still not the great situation for Louisville to be in, but they do have the hatch open. They could potentially draw what they need to, but they need to start getting these players that are playing aggressively. Some shots going out from Heartless. No kills going through just yet. Some flashes going in as well. We do see a player that is currently pushing up through dirt, try to pressure those players that are watching the hatch. But it's Gangsto, opens things up this time around, killing Robo, and Synthetic follows suit soon after, killing Lockdown, getting the player on the roam, and now Heartless drops, getting the diffuser down. It's all down to Bubba and Murray. Murray, who's been so good in the clutch, and Bubba, who's been trying super hard. Frosty, those impacts that we saw earlier from the Kaid, or excuse me, from the Kapkan coming in clutch right there, and now it's post-plant scenario.
Murray's able to get another one as well, and Heartless is going to trade back, though, and it's all down to Murray, who is 1 HP. Heartless finds the kill. Oh, what an amazing round. That honestly, I give a lot of that to Heartless. Heartless's play to get in there and really call down the IQ to come down on main. Gangster was able to get that early pick. That was huge. That was massive. They had control of Hall now, and they were able to actually make an execute happen with that push through dirt, which is exactly what I wanted to see more of from Louisville. The clear happened. Lockdown maybe didn't get enough out of the roam, although Frosty definitely didn't get enough out of the roam. There was a lot to happen there, but I am glad overall that we saw such a great adjustment coming out from Louisville.
I will agree. Seeing them come back there and have a really dominant round is great to see. And just a real quick update for you all. Unfortunately, there is no 3-minute delay currently active. So we're having to go through and manually add one right now. So it's going to be, like we said, a few minutes midstream. We apologize for the inconvenience. But we should be back, again, 3 minutes for us to add the delay. And we'll be jumping right back into things and we'll be good to go. All right, so everyone just stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. All right, everyone, we are back. Unfortunately, things are a little bit scuffed. Just bear with us, everyone. Unfortunately, we did end up missing round 5, so we didn't even see it, so we have no clue what happened. But it was a win for Platteville, and now we are back with a bit of a delay, so hopefully things should be all good to go from there. We're getting back into round 6, back down to Charles Arsenal. Again, not sure how Platteville won the last one, but I'm sure it was entertaining. We just didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was great, but we can deduct that it was not basement. So we're going back to basement from round 4, okay? Louisville actually was able to pull off a victory in this one, and this is the time for Platteville. Platteville is actually getting a little bit risky because they need this round in order to secure a 4-2 split.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And that would be good for Clubhouse. But otherwise, the 3-3 is pretty dangerous.
It is about average, about what you would expect to see when it came to Clubhouse. This map has, for a while, it was like really defender side, and then the attackers started figuring out strategies to attack, and the meta changed a bit, and so now things are just things are all over the place now. It went from being a figured out map to being not figured out at all, and it's just, like I said, it can be a little bit crazy, but at least for the moment, we are potentially looking down the barrel of a 4-2 half for Platteville, which would be amazing for them to go into their attacking half. They want to have as much advantage as they would get, and Louisville, that would be potentially dangerous for them, but of course, there is the possibility that they could bring this one back. But we are actually seeing a couple of different operators than we're used to seeing, 2 ones we haven't seen at all so far in any of these rounds.
Yes, I'm liking the setup here. They've decided to actually swap up the lineup once again. Decided to go for a lot more throwables denial with the Womai being brought in. And then more plant denial by the Chichanka, which is an interesting pick, actually. The Maestro as well for plant denial is also really interesting. They've decided to go for this throwable and plant denial setup. We're going to have to see how this looks out, because it's definitely not heavy on the roam. They're turtling down in sight.
Clear.
And that turtle down in sight can work really, really well, especially if you are able to deny the entry into sight, but at least for the moment, not happening. And, well, it's only been a minute, not too much time left remaining. We do have those Kaid claws making it more difficult for Heartless to get that hatch open, but at least they seem to be heading upstairs. Yeah, they do see there is going to be that Maestro camera upstairs. I'm going to try to take care of that at the very least, make it so it's not as useful, although there is one person upstairs. That's going to be the Jaeger. They could potentially cause a lot of trouble, but Jay Razor looks like they kind of have their number.
Oh, they have a lock on him now, though, and he's actually going to have to be... He's stuck inside of Jim Bedroom right now. He's going to swing out. He's going to be found out. Lockdown's able to get the kill on a Jay Razor. That's the Lion down once again. An attempted refrag by the IQ, but nothing is going to be found as of yet. Drone's taken out, and he's doing a lot of damage, wasting a lot of time right now. Going to be sweated out. They are looking to finish him off.
Flashbang.
But they have to invest utility. And this kind of... Oh, look at that time. Look how much time he's burning right now. A little self-flash is not going to hurt either. For old Lockdown as he's looking to find the next one. There's the swing. He's able to get another.
way.
That's the diffuser down as well. 1 minute and they're not even close to the site yet. There's the swing out, and under average is finally going to be able to shut down Lockdown. Wow, what a roam by Lockdown. He is insane for that. And now they're down to 45 seconds on the clock, and they have to go for an execute.
2.5 players and a minute wasted is an absolutely what you want to see from a roam, and absolute massive work from Lockdown to be able to hold that one down well and keep to their namesake. And now as 30 seconds are left, the players inside of Louisville, they're kind of struggling a little bit, maybe panicking slightly, trying to figure out what they need to do. We are seeing them kind of rotate over, trying to see if maybe they can get some of these other hatches open and go for a different type of push. And all of this fire is coming out here from the Shremikalon. Sure, damage does go through, however. They're starting to push up now. Synthetic does end up, unfortunately, going down, and all of them are to fall as we see that roam from Lockdown, which is too much for Louisville to handle. And Platteville, they managed to take that half 4-2 and, well, put themselves in an amazing position.
That is an amazing play from Platteville. I love that. Lockdown is the MVP of that round by far. That was a great play from him. I cannot emphasize that enough because he wastes so much time there. He wastes so much time. They could have brought it back even in the 3v4 situation, just off of playing off of util, being able to bunker down, trying to
Defenders, protect your
isolate
bombs
some
from being
picks.
defused by
But they
attackers.
weren't able to do that. They didn't have time for that. They had to go for an execute fast without any preparation. That wins the round right there. Oh, wow.
Now
what
we're
an
going to.
an
I was
interesting
going to say now we're going to see a Louisville heading down to this basement site for their first hold, where we are going to be seeing a Mozzie being brought out here, almost certainly in anticipation of a Brava being brought out, but also in a Rooney being brought out as well, an operator that we haven't seen at all so far, which one that can prove somewhat valuable. There are a lot of different areas you can come in from on this site in particular. It is the basement, so many areas you can come in from. There are some very key points, like that kitchen hatch, like pushing in through blue and that blue door. So putting them on those key locations can prove very useful, but there is always opportunity. They could just create another hole or go somewhere else, and then those Renegates don't get as much value as you would hope for them to.
Right, and what I really would like to highlight for a second, and what I was really oohing and awing about earlier, is Jay Razor on the slow list with the shotgun, which I don't believe is that common,
No, not
especially
really.
with the P90 as an option. Now, I do understand the whole SMG-11 as a secondary is really, really strong, but I want to see if there's any play they have that specifically they want the shotgun for, because he's currently on this roam. He has a lot of angles that he could play close with, but would you rather have the P90 or would you rather have that shotgun? Here comes the clear now.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that shotgun. I just think it lacks versatility, but it is certainly serviceable, although not going to matter too much when you lose the gunfight at the SMG-11. Looked like they almost got Lockdown's head, but unfortunately isn't to be, and Lockdown lives to swing another day. And, well, with them going down now, that leaves that top floor and first floor clear for them to start making their way to pressure the basements. And, well, we are going to be seeing those Lion scans come out just to clarify and make sure that no one is going to be pestering them. There is no one, at least that we can see. All of them are downstairs, but a minute 30 off the clock. Still not the worst roam in history for J0, but or J0, excuse me, but
J
still
Razor.
nothing like what Lockdown saw in last round.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at I like this clear more. A minute 30 left on the clock, and they're beginning to open up floors. They're beginning to work for picks. And they're finding value here. They have control of dirt. They have control of kitchen. And now they're going to be pushing down for main. It does look, however, like there may be a Mozzie drone or something that is pinging out players above.
More shots going through. A minute left on the board, and man advantage firmly in favor of Platteville, and they do have Gridlock, one of the best post-point operators in the game. Finally, under average, is able to get something for their team as they are able to get the headshot onto Frosty. The hatch is already open, though, so not the biggest pick in the world, but Lockdown does get brought really low. Bubba swinging in, now is able to get one, and under average gets another one, all down to the 1v3, as we do see Robo start playing the diffuser. Not that much time left, though. If they don't get it down, looks like they will. Now under average is left alone in blue as well. They have a very difficult scenario to work with, and unfortunately they're just not able to deal with the defender utility that was set up to keep them safe. In the end, it bit them in the butt, and with that, the attackers are able to win another round, making it 5-2 for Platteville.
That is impressive too. I loved that attack. Was everything that Louisville's attack was not. And I hate to say that because it sounds extremely mean. But like, if you look at the time management, you look at the roam clear, there was an untraded roam clear, which was absolutely beautiful. The amount of different angles that were being fought, perfect. It was amazing. It was wonderful to watch be played in. And Louisville needs to really find some kind of breakthrough here in order to work back.
And we are going to be seeing Louisville head over to gym and bedroom once again, so making that site rotation. They did not win the last one, so they could have chose to go back downstairs, but they're not opting to play the same site multiple times in a row. And, well, they are going to be bringing a lot of operators that we have seen previously on this site, in particular that castle, but also we are seeing that Frost, an operator that is brought so frequently on this site in particular because of how many windows there are and how potentially dangerous she can be if you do not respect those windows and those Frosts mats, but
5 seconds
also a
left.
warden, which is an operator that can be very valuable if a certain operator in particular is brought in. That's going to be the Ying, and of course, Platteville, they decide to lock that Ying. Bubba bringing it now onto this bomb site. We'll see if Warden's going to be able to completely counter a potential Ying push, or if they'll pick him off before they're able to get any value out of him.
This is make or break for Louisville. And honestly, I think this is the best round for them to do it. Gangsta is set up perfectly to counter this Ying. They have a nice extension into cash. I saw that. I liked that. And we're looking at something that may actually turn into a round for them here. And the Ying, they don't even know that the Ying is in play, that they have a perfect counter for it, which is absolutely wonderful. But here comes the roam clear. Lockdown's getting control of CCTV now, and he's going to move through, trying to open up some of the construction. Maybe work a little bit of the cash area, where he will find Heartless.
Heartless currently all by themselves. It's Lockdown who rushes right on in and gets an easy kill as Heartless's back was turned. Not too much they can do to follow up on that, and with an amazing entry within the first minute, Platteville have gotten a lot of space. Well, they are going to have to worry about that Warden. The drone is out. The drone game coming out here from Platteville and Zach is absolutely masterful as they are working their way in with those attackers and are actually taking it to Louisville, and they're not really able to respond on that. Well, those drones are doing wonders, and Robo is able to get another one. Jay Razor going down as well. The Ying's coming in. Now someone pushing up the stairs. They hear it, and under average, they're able to get one for them as well. But now Bubba's pushing in here. Smoke Nade is out there. Worry about someone maybe sitting behind the desk. They got to worry about Lockdown swinging in. They don't manage to find a kill. Instead, they find a lot of bullets, but they're still left standing. They're potentially going to be swinging again, but it's Gangsta swings this time. Is able to get Frosty, and another kill for Gangsta as they're able to take down Lockdown. Robo on the other side, though, is firing right on back. Another Yin Candela coming in. There's no Warden to stop it. And with a limit left remaining, they're going to try to rotate back down, and things kind of slow down, at least for the second, before Bubba picks up another one, and now it's down to a 1v2 as under average. Flat defender left remaining.
Yeah, and here comes the swing out from the Ying. He's just going to play off that shield and is able to shut down the round. What an amazing round. I felt bad there because Louisville had the right idea. There was a lot of good execution, and what are you supposed to do when Lockdown is Ferrari swinging you in cash, right? He's moving at the speed of sound. There's not much to do there, but moving on into this, there's going to be a lot. Heartless is actually going to call the timeout, which I think is the right call, especially on this match point. They should have maybe called it a little bit sooner, maybe tried to figure things out, try to move some of that momentum away, but you know, better late than never.
Timeout can be very valuable, especially when you're losing. Just talking to the players, resetting the momentum, and resetting the mental, and just try and just make sure that you can kind of get back into things. Saying, hey, you know, we might be down a couple of rounds, we might be in dire straits, but we can still win this. We're not out of it yet, and they can come back. 4 rounds in a row is definitely possible for them to do. Platteville have done it themselves. And the question is this timeout going to be enough? Are they going to be able to take it to them? They are going down to Church Arsenal Room, a site that can tend to heavily favor the defenders. So far, the one time they went down there, they had, unfortunately, no success. They just kind of lost it out to some good gunplay and good coordination from Platteville. They really seem to make sure that they are on point when it comes to giving these calls, getting that intel, and making sure that the players on the side of Platteville, even though they may have some information, they're not really able to act off of it all too well. And as the timeout ends, we're going to see them lock in.
Attackers need to locate
Not
and
too many
defuse
adjustments
as
from what
many
we saw
bombs as
last
they can.
time, which is a little bit, potentially a little bit scary, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be an adjustment, right? They are going here thinking, hey, we just took a timeout, we talked things out, there's been a change. And I think the change as of right now is Jay Razor. Because I don't believe he was on the Oryx before, was he?
Unfortunately, I can't recall.
Yeah, I believe he was on Jaeger before. He was on
10
Jaeger
seconds to
before.
insertion.
And you know, like his roam didn't work out obviously, but obviously they want to give a lot more capacity to the roam
Attackers
right
must
now. And Jay
locate and
Razor's
defuse the bomb.
using of that Oryx, which I believe still has the 1.5 as of right now. It could really turn the tide of the round, especially with Synthetic helping him out.
Once again, Platteville bringing that gridlock, an operator we don't see too much of, and it's kind of why I wanted to mention it, just because gridlock is an operator that can be very powerful in the close pant to be able to kind of prevent players from being able to push in, or at the very least, if they do, know that they're going to take a lot of damage, and especially once you get later on into the round, you can potentially be very low, and well, those track singers could maybe even kill you if you're not paying attention. So very powerful operator that only gets better as the round continues, but you got to get there in the first place. So far, Platteville have done a good job of getting there, and it's up to Louisville this time around to kind of stop them in their tracks. And it looks like they might be able to start, but no, unfortunately, Gangsta does not win that one. One is going to be locked down to win that one out, but Jay Razor playing on that Oryx, they're roaming up here now, and they are able to get one. The scan coming in now, they get the intel, but they have the dash, and they're able to escape into bathroom for the time being, but they got to worry. The players on Platteville, they're closing on their position, they're closing in fast.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing I wanted to see from Jay Razor. He just used that lion scan. He doesn't even care about it, because guess what? He's so fast, he can get away, reposition, and now he just took down Murray. Murray, who has been absolutely volatile throughout this game, at 11 and 6, is going to be shut down. But Jay Razor is finally taken out by the man in the middle, letting himself locked down. He's going to move on, run through, and begin his work on a little bit of reconstruction for Clubhouse. He's doing the new rework, and he's decided open concept is the way to go.
A bomb has been located.
A minute and 15 left on the time. We're at 3v3 right now, and not a whole lot of the site entrance open for the players on the side of Platteville. They were able to clear out the roamers, and they did a good job of stalling out, but still, they need to push in fast. We are seeing the Ying trying to play inside of dirt. Unfortunately, that Arunigate catches one of them, and now they're kind of forced to back out. They don't want to waste all of those, especially for right now. They can't really push in here. They know there's at least some players watching, as they were able to turn on that Arunigate. Trying to see if maybe they can get open some of the map a little bit more, maybe try to push down the stairs and get some pressure out, or potentially even open up this hatch. Unfortunately, the Kaiko is in a bit of a position where they can't just use an impact EMP to get rid of it, and they do manage to stop it for the time being, and now Canover is going to come through, but it's under average. The top frag for the players on the side of Louisville, who does end up getting a kill this time on the lockdown. And well, 20 seconds left, 3v2. It's looking very dangerous for Louisville.
They just gate tricked it to win that out. Synthetic though, what a shot! Synthetic on that swing is absolutely demolishing him. And here's another swing, Synthetic, to shut it down as he takes down Bubba and gives Louisville a fighting chance. They're not going down without a fight.
An amazing round win there. Platteville kind of getting caught out. That roam game was very, very big. Even though they were able to shut down the Oryx, unfortunately for them, it just was not quick enough. And, well, that can be the cost of it. When you're roaming, you're not really looking to get kills, although that is very helpful. You're not really looking to get out with your life. You're looking to stall time. Time is the biggest enemy of the attackers, because for when you're a defender, time is on your side, at least till the diffuser gets down, and you have to be worried about when you're an attacker. And, well, unfortunately, they kind of just had to make do with what they had and just kind of rush down those stairs, where it was just like shooting fish in a barrel for Synthetic, just killing them as they walked out. And, well, Louisville, they get another round win on the board, but now they got to turn that into another 3 if they want to take this to overtime, and then they got to win in overtime. Not a possible scenario, but certainly one that isn't the greatest to look at. Now they get to head back up to Gym Bedroom, where that previous round that they tried on here wasn't the greatest. Hopefully they can make some adjustments and end up winning it out, but certainly they have a long way to go based on what we saw that last round if they do want to take it there.
It's going to be a long road, especially with the kind of odds they're facing in a way that Platteville has been playing. But remember, I'm pretty sure this is Louisville's pick. If I'm not mistaken, this should be Louisville's map pick. That doesn't bode well, and they need to fight back now. There's no room for error. And last time we were here, we saw a little bit of a different setup, especially on the cap cam, which is now being brought. Instead, we had the Warden at the time, which I'm actually not a fan of this swap, because the Warden before was pretty effective. Oh, Heartless is just going to take down Lockdown, who I believe was deciding that he was going to become a race car.
Now Lockdown doing another fast push like they did last time, and, well, unfortunately for them, the Heartless is waiting for it now, and they are able to completely shut down, lockdown pushing in there. The very, very early kill. And now, well, and even they admit that wasn't the greatest idea for them to do. And, well,
Even
a very
Lockdown
unfortunate
knows
scenario
it.
all around. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You know, you live and you learn. That's what I always like to say. But now with a minute off the board, the players on the side of Louisville, they are currently sitting in a pretty good position. Platform are going to try to get the wall open. It looks like they are going to, as there's no Kai trick coming through, and they got it open a lot quicker than Louisville did on their attack. But they're going to need to try to push in from other areas of the map. And right now, Louisville, they have a pretty heavy extension over into construction and cash. Really going to be on the players on Platteville to kind of clear that out, or either get a really, really good push going in here to kind of really do all that much.
This is actually going to discover the player on main stairs there. Now it's going to be under average. He's being stuck there in that little area. He's going to have to play his life there. All his ADSs just got taken out. And it's a pretty rough position. They were really relying on that wall just not being open. Jay Razor, though, is able to open it up. Bubba immediately trades back, however. And it's now down to a 4v3. This is looking good for Louisville so far. It comes down, though. Frosty is able to find an amazing pick on a Heartless as he swings around the corner and finds someone who's completely lost. Gets the map to find where he needs to go. Jay Razor's just stuck in that bathroom cowering for his life. He needs to go off in the other room.
Right now, the rest of the players on Louisville, they're kind of out of position, not really able to help Jay Razor, and unfortunately, Murray is just going to be able to swoop right on in and catch them out. But now, Gangsta coming down from below, try to see if they can maybe get something going here. Unfortunately, Synthetic was not, as they end up going down to Frosty, down to a 1v3. The player pushing up here, they maybe have an idea. They are kind of looking toward these main stairs, and, well, it looks like they are kind of closing in around him as he starts pushing up. Now, all the players on Platteville are kind of watching where they are. The swing does come through from Frosty, and they get the final kill of the round and the final kill of the map as they are able to secure this round and put themselves at a 7-3, a very amazing win coming in the Clubhouse.
Wow, that was dominant. That kind of match is just something that, you know, we love to see the competition come out, but that was pure dominance from Platteville. The way they adapted every single time, the way they were able to move their strategy around and really play the map to the fullest. It was well played in my opinion, and Louisville are now on the back foot.
Yeah, losing the first map is definitely not one you want to be in, especially when it is a map that is so universally played as Clubhouse. And, well, hopefully they'll be able to take it in map 2 and then eventually map 3 if we do get there. But before that happens, we are going to go ahead and go to a quick break. So don't go anywhere. We shouldn't be too long. We'll be right back.
Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. As I dive in, blood stains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to keep you safe. As we fall, I can't hold on much longer. We're
Welcome back, everyone, to University Wyoming Platteville versus Louisville. And guys, we're going into map 2 here. It's going to be Villa, and boy, are we excited to show you this one. It's going to be volatile. This is going to be Louisville going against Platteville. This is Platteville's map pick, and this is do or die for them. Because right now they're down. They're down on the map, and it's all coming down here.
Not the greatest position to be in, being down a map, especially when you did end up losing it 7-3. It's definitely a tough hill to climb, but one that is certainly doable. And as we mentioned, we are going to be heading over to Villa as our second map. And, well, Louisville, they're going to be starting on defense, which in my opinion, defense on Villa is the side that you prefer to be on. I think that statistically it's pretty even, but still, I like playing Villa defense a little bit more, at least when you get those first 2 sites. Once you get to the tertiary bomb sites, it can be a little bit messy sometimes, but it's still going to be good fun to watch these players. And we should be getting underway relatively shortly, just waiting on a few players to finish getting ready and make sure they're all good to go.
What I want to see here, specifically from Louisville, is extension. Because a lot of the time on their defenses, we saw this a lot, they turtled. They turtled like every time on their defense, and it was very slow. They need to pick up the pace in terms of giving the enemy something to fight. Because they need to expand out of just the bomb site, take up a lot more space so that there has to be util usage through every single part. And as we go into the bands here, we're going to really get a good feel of how this map is going to go.
See Louisville, they're going to be banning their attacker first. Wouldn't be surprised we did see another Thatcher ban coming through. It is what we saw at the beginning of the last map, and if we did see it again, like I said, wouldn't be the most surprise in the world. As we see it go through here, it is going to be a Ying ban, which is another operator that can be very powerful, especially on Villa. There are a lot of areas where you can just kind of push in a lot of different windows, especially that you can get a lot of value with that Ying. So seeing her getting banned first is not too surprising.
I feel like that's a target ban because of how much Platteville brought that last map. The Jackal as well, pretty shut and close, open close case, right? Jackal is going to be really good for roam clear. Obviously, Platteville doesn't want them to roam clear, and Jackal's the way to go. Azami is a very good ban in my opinion.
Zami's a very powerful operator on Villa. In particular, you can get quite a bit of mileage out of her, and we did see that Louisville liked to bring her a lot in the last game. And then another ban coming through. It looks like a lot of these are going to be target bans, like you mentioned. Ying could be target banned, Azami and Solis could both be target bans, as both of their opponents like to bring those operators. Solis, of course, being brought very heavily by one side, and then of course Azami being brought really heavily by the other, and it just kind of means that these teams are trying to adapt in how they play, so that way they can make sure that they perform the best when they go up against them by taking out some of their operators that they kind of maybe lean on maybe a little bit too much and see how well they adapt.
Tell me oh my god, they stuck it. They stuck it all the way through. Yeah, they brought it. They brought the Cav. Oh my goodness, shotgun Cav at that. Wow. This is interesting.
The surprise Cav pick.
This is very interesting. They're not. There's no way they're ready for this. This is going to be a massive test of Platteville's roam clear, because this Cav is going to be all over them. And it is either going to win them the game, or it is going to lose them the game, because Cav is extremely hit or miss. Because the silent steps can be very, very strong.
5 seconds remaining.
But, you know, besides that, that's kind of it. That's all Cav brings. It's a hardcore roamer that is either make or break.
If the players on the side of Platteville decide to, maybe go off on a solo roam, and Synthetic happens to be there at the right time, the potential could be huge for an interrogation, but you hardly ever see this happen. Typically, at least one of the person is either A, close enough nearby that you're able to shut them down, or B, is, directly with that person, they're able to stop them out. And, well, unfortunately for the Cav, they are going to be bringing a Lion. That's going to make things even more difficult, as Cav can kind of counter Lion, but you don't have the most amount of cooldown when it comes to your silent step, and it's not the greatest thing in the world to happen, so it's going to be difficult
A bomb has
for
been located.
the Cavs to really get all too much value here, but already starting things off.
Where's
A
the
first
Cav
pick
even
coming out.
roaming there is the question. Where, like, what's the goal? Oh, it's downstairs, spotted out by a drone. Jay Razor though is gonna find a get back. It's gonna be the trade right back to in order to get a little trade, but oh, they know now. Robo's looking for him, and Synth is now stuck at the top of Astro, I believe, and there's not much for him to do as of right now. And as the Ionic clone's coming through, they're going to clear out a lot more area. They know that this guy is all around. They know that they're going to be looking for something. Lockdown, though! Oh my goodness, on the other side of the map is going to get a nice two-piece. Turning this from a healthy 4v4 into a brutal 4v2. But Jay Razor's got something to say about it. But Wolf Window Murray is going to come off. Be able to find one. Here comes the Cav, though! There's the swing, and there's the swing back. Bubba is able to shut down Synthetic, who's going to go for the interrogation. What a play.
That round there was very messy from both sides. It looked like it was a bit all over the place there, but some potentially huge picks coming could have been seen, but unfortunately they did not, and it is going to be Platteville that ended up winning round one. And well, Louisville, they need to go back to the drawing board on that one. Unfortunately, that Cav did not get the value that they really would have liked it to, but they are going to go back to Aviator Games, and they are showing the Cav. Are they going to stick it again? They're sticking in the Cav again. I do not agree with this at all.
Me neither.
I don't.
Attackers need to locate.
I'm not sure about it, man. Like we're seeing them. They're playing a very Uto-heavy setup, right? They've got the Cade, they've got the Mute, they've got the Jaeger, they have the Frost, and then there's just the Cav. It doesn't fit. There's no situation where this Cav is the right pick. And Synthetic, unfortunately, he may be a good player, but it's just not getting the value. There's no single player going off by themselves in a competitive match that's just going to be free to interrogate.
I could respect it on round one as like a surprise thing of like, oh, maybe Platteville aren't prepared for it, right? And even if they had like waited a few rounds and brought it out again, I was like, okay, you know what? You know, maybe they've adjusted to not having it. Maybe they won't be surprised at this time. But when they just beat the Cav and you're bringing it again with the exact same composition and it looks like the exact same operator lineup, it makes me question Louisville's decision making here in this moment of like, it clearly seems like they have a strat that they have for this site and they want to see it through to the end, which I can respect, but when it doesn't work, sometimes it doesn't work, and I hope it works this time around. They're able to show the power this Cav can bring to the table, but I mean, the only kills you got last round were from J0 just clicking heads. You're gonna need to do a little bit better than that if you want to actually get this strat to work.
Oh, and they found it again. Once again, the Cav has been found out, and he's gonna make the long trek all the way around and try to go through basement, up to the stairs, and try to get a pick near the kitchen. Now the droning is going to come, the clearing is going to happen, and they're going to find out some of the players. The read is here, Bauer. I mean, they know what's happening. And the dope as well.
Minute off the board right now, trying to see if they can get into and get some early picks here, and it looks like they are going to be able to find one. The only player with kills on the side of Louisville at the moment is going to be J0, who does end up going down to the beginning, and now the Cav gets absolutely no value, as we see there.
It's falling apart. Well, it's falling apart, Power. Now it's with Jaeger here on the stairs. I mean, and the Dokkaebi calls are coming through. Everything is going wrong for Louisville right now. Excuse me. And Average though is gonna fight back. He's gonna make a nasty shot. Bubba is also gonna go down, but Gangsta is just not gonna be able to do anything. Frosty is just going to absolutely smoke him. And that is going to be round 2 going to Platteville, leading a dominating start.
So far, Louisville running the same strategy twice and not getting anywhere with either one of them this time around. And Well, they are going to this time go over trophy statuary, so they're not going to be doing the exact same strategy, but still being down 2 to open things up is not a position you really want to be in. Still, they are going to be utilizing an operator that we haven't seen yet, as they were banned the last map, that being Mira. A Mira setup on this site could be potentially devastating if you play it properly, but we do see operators that could also maybe potentially counter it out if the players on the side of
Attackers need to
platform play
locate
it
and
properly. In
defuse as many
particular,
bombs
I'm
as they can.
looking at that Nook with those nades. They could potentially either come in from below or just throw it right through if they're able to burn an ADS and absolutely devastate the player playing behind that window. They need to make sure that they are aware of that and they account for that potentially happening. Otherwise, you don't want to get caught with egg on your face and a grenade shrapnel on your face as well.
So I like the setup they're doing here. You know the point of this is to give up master control and play for it from sight in that connector door there and from triple. Which is really, really influencing, especially with the kind of setup being run. But Robo has some good smokes here. If they can play this correctly, if they play it right, they get a lot of things. Because remember, it was, I believe, the coach of the Sonics who said angles go both ways. Which is probably the simplest and smartest thing you could ever say in this game.
Home improvement time.
At least for the moment, we are going to be seeing an extension over towards Games and Aviator, where we see Heartless and Jazer currently playing. There is going to be a mirror window potentially stopping any push from the study balcony, where at least for the moment we do see 2 of them, that being Frosty and Robo. We haven't mentioned it previously, but Osa has been being brought a lot by Platteville. Frosty has been running it and doing an absolute fantastic job of being able to get those kills and get that value out of those shields. And unfortunately, Louisville, they haven't been bringing impacts all too much, and they're not really able to counter. We do see some C4s, and we see 3 of them for the moment on the side of Louisville, but they haven't, like I said, really been able to shut down those windows, and it really hasn't been the windows they have to worry about. It's really been the gunplay. That PDW with that huge drum mag has been absolutely devastating for the players in the defense.
Yeah, Osa brings a lot of value as well. I really, really like that play. Oh, finally giving up the Mira, though. This early in the round, with only a minute gone, the Mira's off the board. That's really, really... Ooh. Oh, Gangsta, though. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about what I have to say. He's just going to go ahead and get the kill on a Murray anyways, as Murray's going to go down on that Thatcher. EMP's off the board. They've already gotten the walls, so value has been found. However, it's still not something you want to be seeing going into the last minute of the round here.
Make my soul shredders.
And Thatcher, although there are those impact EMPs, and we do see 2 sets of them on the board, still having that Thatcher, just that wide area coverage is what you really bring them for. The fact that you can just throw one down no matter where it is, you pretty much are guaranteed to get it with how wide of a coverage it has, is the reason why you see Thatcher still getting banned and still getting picked when he isn't. And, well, them being down, as well as 2 other players now for the side of Platteville, make that 3 as a double kill for Jazer, as they're just popping off with that SMG-11. It's all down to Bubba, who is able to get Synthetic, as they do go ahead and drop down. Unfortunately, 0 and 3 for Synthetic, but 4-1 potentially coming out here. And, well, that would be the first round win for Louisville, as so far they have not been able to win anything out. And with Bubba having to be careful right now, as there is a cap count on the board, they haven't really been able to make that much progress. And, well, they got the intel on. Then the swing from Jazer, another kill for the SMG-11, absolutely shuts down any hopes that they have of winning this round.
That was exactly what you need to see. And Jay Razor is going to be a winner for MVP this round, as he is able to take off the heads of 3 players and absolutely demolish the forward momentum coming out from Platteville. That was a beautiful play. However, Synthetic, cool down, buddy. Jumping off that balcony, who do you think you are? He's trying to Assassin's Creed the entire lobby.
In his defense, if it had worked, it would have been really cool.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if it had worked.
that one would definitely be going in a highlight reel, right?
But at least for the moment, didn't happen. Not going into the highlight reel, but still, a round win is a round win in Louisville. They are going very, very happy about that now as they head back over to Aviator Games, where we're not going to be seeing the Cav, rest of the Cav. We are going to be seeing, yeah, thankfully, we are going to see the Mira, however, and also another Frost being brought out here. Louisville really do like their Frost, and don't get me wrong, I am a Frost apologist, absolutely love Frost, but I feel like there might be some other operators, especially if they're bringing 2 trap operators in the Kapkan and the Frost. I just feel like we might be able to get a little more value bringing another operator on the board that brings a little more active utility, maybe a smoke as well. They don't have a smoke or any plant denial on the board. On a site like this, where sometimes teams can just get in behind that vault door and start planting, having a smoke can be very, very useful.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're looking at this, they have a lot of C4 to like stop the plant, but really overall, I mean, there's not that much in actual terms of plant denial. Like, there's no long-term plant denial. And trap-offs are cool and all. I love Frost. I think Frost provides a lot of help, and especially with the 1.5, generates a really, really good fragger with the side shorty for site setup. It's wonderful, but no plant denial just leaves you kind of hanging at the end of the round there. And as we've got players moving forward, we've already seen Platteville's roam clear be absolutely immaculate every single round. The droning is clear, the droning is precise, and they've got people following it up. As the Oso shield especially is just putting in a ton of work and finding so much value.
Fortunately, Frosty will get chinked really, really low, and well, even more explosions coming out here will take Robo at low as well. So many explosions happening right now. They're going to be very careful not to touch any of these electric walls, otherwise they're going to go down. A C4 does come out, and that will be the end of Frosty. The swing from Heartless to kill that player on the window rappel. Amazing work there. In the meantime, a kill was gotten onto under average, so now it is a 4v3, but still trying to keep things in favor of Louisville is going to be Gangsta, as well as they will get Bubba now. 4v2 left on the board. The Capital getting absolutely no values. They were brought for the first time this round. All down to Robo and Murray, 2 players that did very well last game so far, have been a little bit quiet, both of them. Robo especially has just kind of been doing their thing. 1-1-1 in total. A minute left on the board. Lots of damage on both players. They are going to try to swing to get something. They do see one of, and no one's in the corner. They are able to get one, but Synthetic fires right back. And now 3v1, 45 seconds left, and make that 2v1 now as Robo. They're absolutely popping off right now. Someone behind the deployable shield. However, they're going to back up. They're going to try to slow things down for a second. They still have 30 seconds left to work with. And they just, never mind. They jump straight into Vault. They're swinging on through. They get damage on the J-Zera, but it's not enough. And Gangsta is the one that gets the final kill and another round win for the defenders.
That was a way better round from Louisville. I'm liking the adjustment. The Mira pick. All right, I just want to say this. Now, I'm no scientist. I'm no PhD. But as soon as Synthetic drops Cav, 2 rounds on the board for Louisville. I'm seeing a correlation here. And I personally love it. I love the Valk pick. I think that is such a good idea, especially on Dining Room, where they're going to be playing for a lot of C4 from below. Having those 3 C4s, the Warden, the Valk, and the Mute, which actually, never mind, forget it, 2 C4s, my bad. Frost instead coming out.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
It's going to be incredibly valuable. Also, they love this Frost. I mean, my goodness.
Frost has been passed around a little bit, now down to Gangsta to play, but I will say I am a little bit surprised that we haven't seen the Valkyrie sooner. Obviously, Valkyrie was banned in the previous map, so we couldn't have seen her at all, but surprised over the previous 4 rounds that we didn't get to see her be brought out even once, because the amount of value you can get from Valkyrie is almost unmatched with just the amount of versatile places you can put her in, especially. There are so many little nooks and crannies on this map that just work wonders when it comes to using and getting that utility. And even though it is especially useful here for getting C4s from below, as we do see 2 of them in the pocket of Jazer and also Synthetic, it's still a bit of an interesting scenario of, like, I feel like they could have gotten a lot of value, in particular, maybe over a certain Frost that they keep bringing would have been especially valuable. But nonetheless, bringing it in this round, it's certainly going to provide a lot of value to them, especially if they give up this top 4 control anytime soon.
Lockdown is back on the Ash, though. And we saw this last map I thought this was really good because the way he plays this is extremely aggressive, which, in all honesty, I believe is how Ash should be played. It's the way that Ash was truly intended to be played. Aggression. Raw aggression. It puts them on their back foot. That kind of supporting soft breach that can happen so quickly and be followed up even faster. Lockdown's in the sight. Lockdown's just in the sight. There's no world in which he's gotten a kill. He's gotten a kill, and Heartless is just lost and confused. He's dazed. This is not what I meant when I said aggression. I didn't mean this, Lockdown. Please. Show mercy. And now we're going into the last 145, and here comes the hop in from Havana. Cass is going to be able to swing, but he's not going to be able to find anything. Heartless goes down as well as Murray is going to join in on all the fun. And the last two players, one of them's off-site, the other one is crawling around like a worm on the floor. He's going to try to find the kill as soon as possible. Gets up, is able to find one. Jay Razor, what is that? Gangsta is also going to swing out. There goes the C4, but is going to miss entirely. Go to a 2v3 here. Lockdown's looking to find another one. As we open up some of the wall, Jay Razor is looking to find the kill, and it is becoming a more and more dangerous situation. Lockdown is coming with a swing. He looks out. He's swinging, pre-firing. Jay Razor is able to equalize, actually, as he's looking to make something happen. There's the tag on to Jay Razor. He comes again. He's swinging out. He's going to actually be able to... Oh, my God! Robo's going to be able to get him! But Gangsta is able to do it, and does he have time? He doesn't! My God.
Unfortunately, there just was not enough time left remaining. It was so close, and this super shorty coming out to try to save in the very end, getting one, just not able to plink down the other one is just, it's definitely tragic. A very, very intense and close round there for both sides, and in the end, it is going to be the attackers end up barely winning it out. The clock finally being the disadvantageous scenario for the defenders, getting a little taste of their own medicine, I suppose. And, well, that was certainly one that was an absolute blast to watch. And now 3 rounds is guaranteed for Platteville. They are, of course, going to try to make that 4, but with how well Louisville have been able to play some of these rounds, I have no doubt that they're going to be able to take this 3-3 and be even going into this half. But they still have a chance. Platteville could potentially take it from them. Obviously, we'll see in this round.
Honestly, if anything is going to change this outcome, I think it's going to be Lockdown doing that again. Somehow, I don't know how he did it so quickly. He was just in the bomb site. He just walked in. That's not how it's supposed to work. That's just not how the game's supposed to be. There was a Valkyrie on the board.
Jammer initiated.
An intel op for that. And they had no idea. But we have the mirror back.
Locate a bomb and
We have the
defuse it.
mirror back. The free place underneath at the entrance to the lounge is going to be interesting, to say the least.
It could be devastating as there is a blitz on the board for Bubba here, who could potentially decide to rush in over onto that study balcony and, well, get a explosive surprise if they aren't careful. But at least for the moment, it does look like they are going to instead maybe potentially try to push up Art, and they do end up catching that C4, so that is not going to get any value that it would like it to. But at least for the moment, things are going to kind of mellow out, just chill for the moment. Some drones coming in here. A lot of drone work from Platteville is one of the things that I accompanied them on last map, and I have to continue to do so again, as they are able to get a lot of intel very early on. They do, of course, know that that C4 is there, and they do use that shotgun to try to take it out as quickly as possible now. But so far, Louisville, not a whole lot happening for them. They're just kind of holding their positions here, and we do see Jay Razor taking a nade from below and does get plinked down to half health, and they are going to swing out now as we do see the gridlock swinging in and the shotgun coming out, the swing coming through, and unfortunately, Robo was crouched. Not a single tick of damage going on to them, which is very surprising, but nonetheless, man advantage firmly in favor of Platteville, and on top of that, they have this side of the map pretty firmly in their control.
I think that was an overstep from Jay Razor, and I think that was an extremely costly one at that. Because Jay Razor has been on such a tear. He's 7-4 right now throughout this map, and it's impressive to say the least. But like taking that so early. Now Gangsta's down. It is a 5v3, and we can't be having this early. Platteville's really looking to secure this, and here's the watch for it, and he finds it as well. He's watching the flank. He already has the spikes down. He knows there's no one who's going to be able to kill up that way. He doesn't care. He's watching for it anyways. The plant's going down now. As Robo is looking to find him, the blitz is making work happen. And there's the swing. Frosty's going to be able to shut it down. It's down to the last one, and Bubba is just going to be out.
A flawless round for Platteville to close out their half, taking it 4-2. An absolute, well, devastating final round that Louisville had to experience right there. Still, though, they were able to take it 2-4. This is what they had during the last map, and, well, that one kind of snowballed on the attacking half in Platteville's favor. But the attacking half is over, and hopefully we'll be able to see Louisville kind of come into their stride on attack and really take it to Platteville. But of course, there is always the chance that Platteville could run away with it. It is unlikely to happen. You know, we have been seeing Louisville have some pretty close rounds. Of course, the last one wasn't the greatest, but they can always bounce back. It is not out for them yet, and they are going to have to attack Platteville as they head over to Kitchen first. Not typically the first map you see.
Okay, if anybody has ever watched me cast before in Villa, I always say ban Flores. Why? Because Flores is one of the most underrated operators in Rainbow Six Siege, just because of the sheer amount of drones he has. My goodness, the intel, the destruction that is brought from something that cannot be destroyed by ADSs or Wamais is incredibly... And they swap off. Never mind, forget it. They're not going to run with him at the end of the day, but I do like to see the Goyo coming out. The Goyo coming out is going to be incredibly impactful. The burn on those things is just devastating, and the amount of plant denial that can be held on to there is absolutely incredible. And with the pulse combo, I think it could lead to something absolutely wonderful.
We do have a fuse being brought out right now on the side of Louisville. Heartless bringing a fuse. You don't typically see fuse all too often, but if the players on the side of Platteville give up this top floor and, well, they are able to kill, in particular, that pulse, well, it could be very devastating, but it doesn't happen as we do see 2 kills back-to-back for for Platteville as they take on the players on Louisville and put them in a, well, pretty advantageous or disadvantageous position. Gangsta is able to fire right back as Lockdown gets a little bit over-aggressive, but a minute off the board, 3 players are already dead. So far, looking up to be potentially a very, very quick round.
Yeah, Lockdown, of course, overheating just a little bit there, and now the step in from Synthetic, who's just going to be able to swing and take down Frosty on the roam there, and now they have upstairs control, though they're not 100% sure of it. They do actually have the control that they need. It's coming down to the minute 30 there. Upstairs has been taking control of. The fuse is down, though. This would be devastating if the fuse was still up, but he's not. And Frosty's Capcan trap is able to go off and secure a pick, making this a 3v2. So just gonna go and do some redecorating as the floors get opened up. Trying to find anything to try and equalize, but it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to find anything.
It does try and find some damage to some of the players down below are trying to make something happen. Although, as I said, though, Jay Razor is able to find one onto Murray now, down to a 2v2. Bubba is on very low HP, however, they could be in a very precarious situation, especially if Jay's or above is able to find them out, although it looks like the players have kind of rotated to maybe a bit of a safer area. They are going to now open up this castle barricade and start trying to push in here. They do obviously know that it's open, the players inside of Platteville. The scan does come through. They start trying to push in. A drone comes out ahead of them as well, actually. And now fire is burning Synthetic as they try to push in here. Those Goyo canisters are making quick work of
diffuser.
Jazers has to push through, and they get their head taken off by Robo, and now all down to the 1v2. They are able to get one as Robo gets a bit too aggressive. Now Bubba's just kind of hiding, very low HP. Synthetic has low HP as well. They're going to have to come around the corner. They're maybe going to have to meet eventually. Synthetic could start playing. I think there's not a lot of time left. It's the fire that was shot right behind them that is able to take them out just barely. They had such low HP. The lick of flame just took them out. And that's the defender's utility coming back to bite them. Louisville managing to barely win that one out, although it definitely wasn't clean.
Do we have interviews after this? Because I want to ask if that was intentional. I don't know if it was. If they had intel, that's a 1,000 IQ play. If they don't have intel, that's the luckiest thing I've seen in a very long time. Because he could have just been pre-firing the angle and accidentally hit the Goya.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as
Which
many bombs
would
as
be
they can.
incredible in and of its own. But it does actually give Louisville the fighting chance that they need going into this next round. To be honest, I thought that was a pretty dominant round coming up from Platteville. Right up until the end there, they started throwing away bodies.
Whoa, fortified!
Lockdown goes a little bit too aggressive, jumps out the window, gets traded, and all of a sudden they're worse for weather. And there's not much more to be done.
10
So far,
seconds left
Platteville
before
have had
insertion.
2 very close rounds on Kitchen, just barely not go their way, which is just a bit devastating to see, honestly. When you almost get there twice, and once on attack, once on defense, and just something unfortunate happens, or something just happens that just barely makes you can't win, and well, it happened twice for them. Maybe they shouldn't go back down to Kitchen if at all possible, but we'll see how these next few rounds play out as they do go ahead and head over to Trophy Statuary now, over to Aviator Games, where we're going to be seeing another pretty much more standard setup coming out here for the players on this side of Platteville in terms of lineup composition. They are bringing a Warden with the Ying Band, which is which probably you might be able to bring a better operator. They do have a good shield, they do have a good gun, and their gadget can be useful for dealing with smokes. They do decide to bring them, so not the worst choice in the world. They're arguably better, but of course, Warden's more of a deterrence operator to begin with. You don't really bring him because you actively think something's going to happen. Pretty much just to make sure that the attackers don't really get value out of whatever they try to bring.
What a kill, though, under average from Bubba. Murray, though, following up, is able to... I believe that was... Oh, Synthetic, though. He's going to fire back. He's not out of this just yet. They know the location of another. They know that this could be a massive kill. And, oh, Bubba's going to not take any damage. He's going to be able to escape. Murray's coming to help him now. And he's still going to stay there because he knows he has to put the pressure on. He has to make sure that these guys don't get away and aren't able to just reset and reposition. Oh, there's the swing, though, as it comes out. Gangsta is able to shut it down, and Bubba's going to go down at a minute and a half left on the clock. Synthetic is able to find another as well. And there's the red stairs play. Oh, it's down to a 1v3 power.
Platteville kind of crumbling there a little bit. Louisville with the man advantage. A swing comes through, and Heartless does end up going down. Robo swings and tries to confirm. Unfortunately, he's not able to, and now they're kind of getting pincered on both sides. One player pushes behind the bar. It's Synthetic, and they managed to win out that 1v1. Another round win for Louisville. 2 in a row at the start of their attacking half. This map looks like it's going to be a bit closer as Louisville managed to tie it up as they start out their attacking half.
That is exactly what I want to see. That is exactly what I want to see. Those trades were beautiful. They were just what I want to see. Louisville swings out. They clear their corners. They find Bubba sitting in that corner, and he almost gets away. The Gangsta's there to help him out and able to confirm that kill. Nobody is going untraded. Nobody's going it alone, and that is exactly what I want to see. Synthetic is heating up in this half. I love it. I love the aggression. I love the executes, and the roam clear especially is very, very good. You can see the droning coming out.
Back over to Aviator Games. Platteville going to try again, see if maybe they can get something better going and maybe adjust their strategy to win this next one out. We are going to see Lockdown make that adjustment over to the Legion, an operator we haven't seen so far in either of the 2 maps we've played, an operator that can be a bit interesting. It doesn't have as much use as they did back years ago when they could see all of their goo mines through walls, but still, that sound cue and being able to see some of them at least
10 seconds to
is
insertion.
very, very valuable. And, well, it could potentially prove devastating if Louisville decided to do maybe a fast push, or if you put them in certain areas so you can get some more intel as they're pushing in, as one of the things that was devastating about their hold over in Trophy and Statuary was that someone just kind of walked up Astro stairs and they didn't really hear them at all. So having a Legion mine over there, for example, that could be very, very useful. And speaking of Legion on Astro stairs, we do see them putting one down there right now. So I guess I was correct in that call. They do kind of want to prevent that backside push from happening, and using some intel gadgets or some deterrence gadgets, some traps to make that happen. It's a good idea. I like that adjustment.
Yeah, I like the Legion pick, honestly. I think it adds a lot of roam potential. I think it's the best kind of, flank watch, I guess is a way to put it, for defense. And, oh, but here comes the drones. I think Under Average missed him. Oh, no, he didn't. They do know. And here comes the Flores to finally take out that position on top of Red Stairs. Going to make it a lot harder for Murray to hold on to that. And they're going to be able to put pressure on from Wolf. Closet is be able to have found. Oh, Murray, though, on the other side of the map. Lockdown as well is going to find one. What a pick. What a peek. I would be fuming. I would be fuming if I am that guy. The peek, though, Lockdown is going for the swing. Under Average is going to take a lot of damage there. He's going to get away with his life. Jay Razor, though, is looking for the pick. And he's going to find it as well. Or not. Lockdown. What on earth are you doing to this lobby? He's sitting in the corner. Oh, Average has him stuck. Average has him stuck. He knows exactly what to do.
They hear him there reloading. They're trying to get some shots off. They're not able to do. He ends up rotating, though.
No!
It's another kill for Lockdown, and Bubba is able to get the final one. A flawless round. They just could not clear out Lockdown on that Legion. We thought it was a good adjustment. We thought it was going to work. We didn't expect it to work that well. As Platteville, they come back from a somewhat devastating loss in the previous round to just completely sweep through Louisville and take that advantage back. That was absolutely insane coming out there from Lockdown, showing that they are one of the best players, at least in terms of gun skill in this lobby, as they have been hitting some crazy shots, first on the Ash and now on the Legion, absolutely taking it to Louisville. And, well, now
I think
back down to dining room and kitchen.
It's the persistence to stay in that position despite all the pressure. And while some may say that's a bad idea, I personally think it was a good one because it wastes so much time.
Attackers need to locate
And even if he gets killed there, there's another player nearby, and there's a lot of intel that comes from that death to be able to be refragged, and just so much can come from that and snowball into the round win. Incredible play from Lockdown, perfectly done. And now we're going to see him on Legion again, right back to his former position, I believe, upstairs.
It is worth pointing out, though, once again, Platteville going back downstairs where, like I mentioned, we've seen two devastating losses both times that they had to face off on this bomb site. It's not been the greatest so far for them. They're hoping to make the adjustment and maybe learn. And again, we are seeing some pretty powerful operators on this site. We are seeing that Goyo that was the death of them in the previous round. That we are seeing that Legion that Lockdown was so effective on. We are seeing that Pulse that can give you so much intel, and that they used in last time they defended this site to get two very early picks, but they gotta hold it through towards the end. That's where they've struggled when they've played on this map, and it's unknown if they're going to be able to do so and make that adjustment this time around.
Yeah, and I like the kind of setup they have going on here with this extended roam from Frosty. Although I believe, oh, this is looking dangerous. I think that's the right call to fall off of it there. Is there's a lot of presence upstairs and not a lot to help out Frosty. He's going to be able to fall back down, play a tertiary setup, and still try to put on some pressure. Maybe a little ghost pressure, basically saying, you don't know if I'm not here. You know, I could be right around the corner. You have no idea. You have to clear it. And therefore wasting time. Now, we're seeing Heartless on that fuse. That could come into a lot of big things here. Now, previously, that was actually taken out before it could be put into use. This time, we're going to be able to see it put into play. but will it be countered by the Pulse and his compatriots in the explosives department?
They do have an IQ, which means that while the fuse can be countered by the Pulse, the IQ can counter the Pulse. So it's a countering game. We do see a C4 coming out right now. Unfortunately, no kill does happen. We do see that fuse charge at the very least take care of one of the Goyo canisters. More hockey pucks, coming through now, destroying even more Goyo canisters. There's not too much that the Pulse can do down below, just trying to get as much intel as they can. They're having to rotate out now. There's just so much explosives happening. The fuse is just absolutely tearing through the site, destroying all of their utility that they have. And then on top of that, Jays are playing upstairs with the sledge, is just finding all of these angles to hold by just breaking open every part of the floor now.
There's still a C4 in pocket for Frosty. You've got to understand, they need to be calling out, the Pulse needs to be calling out for the Goyo to come out and try to get a kill. Bubba's going to try to catch one off guard on the vertical angle. This is a very challenging peak play. Oh, they didn't clear him. They didn't clear Frosty out, and they're going to pay the price. There goes the Lion Synthetic going down to Frosty, and he's actually going to be able to secure that. Nice vertical play coming back. J-Razor's gonna go down.
15 seconds left.
It's getting rough, and down to 13 seconds. They have to do a closet execute, and it is now or never.
Attackers drop the bomb.
The diffuser goes down, and it's all Platteville all across the board. Flawless round, and that is going to absolutely decimate. That's the second round in a row. Second flawless round in a row. Match point.
Yeah. Back-to-back flawless rounds. They were able to get some value out of that fuse, but unfortunately, just they take too long to explode. They weren't able to get any kills, and while they were able to kill the utility, they also burned all of their time away with those Goyo canisters that they exploded. And unfortunately, they just weren't able to push in time. By the time they did, they hadn't cleared where they needed to clear. They hadn't gotten the intel as to where the defenders were, and in the end, it costed them. That player, Frosty, playing in Mudroom, getting that pick on to Synthetic, and then getting even more as they kind of held that power position and prevented the players on the side of Louisville from really doing anything there. It was just completely and utterly heartbreaking for Louisville. As they lose that one, their streak is done, and now Platteville, not streak is done. They weren't able to stop the flawless rounds. They got another one, Platteville did, and now they're staring down the barrel of 7-4. One round better than they did on their previous map, but still, that would mean that they are out of this series, and, well, their chances for continuing on maybe into the playoffs are looking, well, at that point, it might be that you have to call it.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, in the long run here, if we really look at the overview, this is a massive thing for UW. I think right now, in the actual standings, they're at the bottom. They're at the bottom in 9th. The only one other below being Barson, which is already out. So UW being able to take this moves them from 9th up to 7th, moving up 2 places, and being able to take it so much ground. They have an actual shot and making it to the next round, and really being able to go for that championship, you know? And the way these guys are playing right now, I'd say they got a shot.
Certainly is possible here, but Platteville, they do need to win out this round, or potentially once in the future if Louisville manages to take this one from them. Is it going to be flawless? Unknown if it will be, but at least for the moment, we're going to see with 50 seconds left, or excuse me, off the board already. Not a whole lot is happening. Power position still being held by the players on the side of Platteville, as we see in particular inside of games is currently Frosty playing on that Mira. Now Jazer, they're gonna start pushing up here. Almost got the angle on the Jazer, was Bubba. Unfortunately, it does not manage to happen. Now 4 players are pushing up those main stairs. It's all up to Bubba to try to stop from happening. Unfortunately, they're not able to do too much by just getting some damage, but it's Frosty who swings in and gets 2 with some quick headshots through the study door, and a C4 as well to try to close things out. Unfortunately, gets caught on the lip there, but still, the damage has been done. An absolute devastating push up those stairs, and Louisville, they lose 2 very, very important members of their team with a minute 20 left. They got to start getting some picks now and getting some good positioning, otherwise they're going to get shot. Gangsta is able to open things up for their team at least.
No, Frosty. Frosty's able to find yet another, make that his third on the round. He's going for the ace. He wants it. Heartless, however, is going to look at equalize. He's coming down the straight. Lockdown shuts him down, and that it looks like it's sealing the fate. There's they can see him. They know the positioning. It's going to be the call, and there's the swing. A trade to end the game, and that is going to be series win for UW Platteville.
Unfortunately for Louisville, while they tried their hardest and they did look good at times, and they did better than they did on map 1, it just wasn't enough. Back-to-back flawless wins, and then an amazing final round from Platteville A just completely shut down Louisville's hopes and dreams of being able to win out that map. And ultimately, with that map win comes the series. They did win Clubhouse, our very first map, and, well, a big congratulations to them for being able to do so. Both teams looked absolutely amazing. Quite unfortunate that they weren't able to go all the way to map 3. Seeing Oregon would have been interesting to say the least. Obviously, we have seen it a lot, but still would have been nice to have. But in the end, it doesn't matter, as Platteville take things 7-4, and, well, I must say that was a very enjoyable match to watch.
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. And I just want to real quick give a huge shout out to our production crew and our observer. Give a huge thank you to them and all the things they get to do in order to make this stream look so great and bring you guys this great content. Huge thanks to them. Give them all a round of applause.